This is a tutorial for the gear Skewb. Okay. So first, you have to understand how this kind of puzzle moves. So it obviously works the same way as the Skewb, except there's also gears that turn these corner pieces and these center pieces as they turn. So there's two different ways you can move this puzzle. You can just move it normally like a regular gear, or like a regular Skewb, like that. Or you can also turn all the large corners and centers at the same time. This one, if you don't do it carefully, it's going to sometimes pop. It's going to sometimes do a different kind of move, so you have to be careful. But if you turn these four corners at the same time in a certain direction, you can turn all the corners and center pieces without moving anything else. Okay. So I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when solving this one is you have to notice that these three small pieces surrounding the large corners, always stay together with the large corner, so they never separate. So first you want to put these into their correct places. So if I look at this, there's a white, green, the sticker's gone, but this should be green, and orange colors. And look around, and I found this one other section with an orange pair. So I want to put both oranges on this face. So the orange is already here. Now I just have to turn this one. So now I have these four oranges on this face. So now these two corners are set. And now if I look at the next one, here's a blue, white, and red. I have blue on this face and white on this face, so turn this one to match those colors. Now I'm finished with orange, white, and blue. Now if I turn it around, this is the only corner that's left. There's yellow here, green here, and red here. So just turn that face, and now all of these are also set. Now from here I want to take these corner pieces and arrange them into their correct places as well. So the first thing you can do is, as I said earlier, you can just turn all the corner pieces and center pieces at the same time to match with these smaller pieces. So I'll take this one, I'll just rotate it in this direction, clockwise. Okay, so now this matches everything around here. This piece also matches, and these two have not matched yet. What you will notice is, once you have at least one of these solved, if another corner isn't in their correct orientation, then they'll always be 180 degrees flipped, like this. So this one, the white has to flip all the way up. Same thing with this one. So what you do in this case is you just turn that face 3 times, so that all of these smaller pieces will rotate back into their correct location, and this one will flip 180 degrees. So 1, 2, and 3. So now these small pieces are still in their correct places, and this large corner is now in the correct orientation. Whites match, the blues match, and the reds match. So same thing for this one. Just turn it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And now all the corners and these small pieces now all match. Now the next thing you want to do is to solve for these center pieces, these large gears. So if I look around, I see that this one's already solved, so I don't have to worry about this one. Over here, I found a white here, and I want to put that white piece over here. So using these large corners as the centers, I'm going to move this over to here. So just take this piece, move it to where I want it to be. And then now I want to substitute it with another piece that's not solved. So in this case, this piece. So first I'm taking this piece that I want to move over to where I want to move it. Then I'm going to replace it with another piece that I don't have to worry about messing up. And now to undo everything. Now as you can see, this piece is now solved, and this piece also ended up being solved as well. That was just a coincidence, but sometimes it can happen. So now I'm done with these three faces, and if I flip it around, I just want to swap these three. I just have to take this piece, move it to here, move this piece to here, move this piece to here, so all of them go clockwise. So from here, all I have to do is take one of these pieces, move it out of the way. Now I want to move it here, so I'm going to replace it with the green. And I want the green to move over here, so now I'm going to replace it with the red. And then replace the red back to the white I originally substituted in. So now as you can see, all these pieces are now solved, and all that's changed is that this large corner piece has flipped 180 again. So all I have to do is turn that 3 times again. 1, 2, 3. So now everything's solved except for these small corners. Now for this small corners, there's this one algorithm I'm going to use. So first of all, you're going to find that placement-wise, either they'll all be in the correct place or all 4 of them will be in the wrong place. So in this case, all 4 of them are in the wrong places. If I look at it, I can see that this one will swap with this one, and then they'll be in their correct places, and these two will also swap. So keeping that in mind, you want 2 of them that will swap to be on the top, so one facing towards you and one facing away from you. And you want the other 2 to be on the bottom, one to the right and one to the left. Now from here, this is a little difficult to do the algorithm with because it doesn't turn like a regular Rubik's Cube. I'll just call this one left, anything moving this corner to be left, or L, and this one to be right, or R. So from here, I will do L inverted, R, L, and R inverted. And I'm going to repeat that 2 more times, so a total of 3 times. So L inverted, R, L, and R inverted. And one more time. L inverted, R, L, and R inverted. And now these should all be in their correct places, even if they're not rotated into their correct orientation. So this piece is already solved completely. This piece has to be turned, but it's in the right place. And this piece also has to be turned, and this piece has to be turned, but they're all in their correct places. Now, as I'm looking at this, all of them have to be turned counterclockwise. First, I'm just going to solve for one of them first. So, this is basically an adaptation of the earlier algorithm I just showed you. So first thing to know is that the algorithm I just showed you takes these 2 pieces and literally just turns them. So if this white is on the top and this blue is on the top, they'll flip, but the blue will still be on the top and the white will still be on the top. For the bottom one, the piece over here will now move to the bottom, so now this yellow will come to the yellow face after this piece moves, and over here this red piece will move to the yellow face once this corner piece moves over here. So once they swap, they'll turn. So from there, I'm going to swap this once like I did before. So L inverted, R, L, R inverted, and 2 more times. One more time. And as you'll notice, these two pieces switched, but the blue's still on the top here and the white's still on the top here. And over here, the yellow that was over here moved over here. The red that was over here moved over here. So now from here, I'm going to do the same exact algorithm, except if I do it from this position, you're only going to get the same exact thing as before. So instead of that, I'm just going to do the opposite of the algorithm. So instead of going up and down, I'm going to do the reverse of that. So now instead of L inverted, R, L, R inverted, I'm going to do the opposite. So now it's going to be L, R inverted, L inverted, R. And repeat that 2 more times. L inverted, just L, R inverted, L inverted, R. One more time. L, R inverted, L inverted, R. And now, as you can see, there's 2 pieces that are solved. So now if you look over here, these 2 pieces have to rotate. This one goes counterclockwise, this one goes clockwise. So as I mentioned before, if I do the first algorithm I showed you, from this position, these 2 will swap, the reds will still be on the same side, and these 2 will swap. Now both of these oranges will now be on the top side. But in that case, no matter how I try to flip it again, no matter how I try to swap these pieces again, they won't be turned in their correct places. So now I'm going to swap it, or flip it around. Now I want the oranges that I want on this face to be on the opposite side. So now they'll be back here. When I first do the algorithm, these 2 will switch, but the reds will still be on the top. Now this yellow will come to the bottom, and this blue will come to the bottom. So I'm going to do the original algorithm like that. So L inverted, R, L, R inverted, 3 times. And now I'm going to do the inverse of that. So L, R inverted, L inverted, R. And do that 2 more times. And now it's solved. Thank you for watching.